to Let's Talk Spook. I'm your host, Don, and today on Let's Talk Spook, we're talking about a horror movie anthology called Dark Chronicles. Dark Chronicles is a pretty big one, so I got 2 pages of notes on this. It's actually, the movie itself is only about an hour and a half long. They managed to squeeze 4 stories in about an hour and a half, which is pretty good for an anthology film, let's be honest. Alright, so as per usual on Let's Talk Spook, we break things down into 6 separate categories. Those 6 separate categories are story, acting, music, atmosphere, look, and finally, creep. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into Dark Chronicles on Screambox. So, story, it opens with a record playing distorted music, and then they turn it off. This guy lights candles to set the mood, and then goes into kind of a monologue prior to starting the first story, and then he pulls a book off of a shelf, and he proceeds to read stories to somebody off screen, which we never really learn who he's talking to. So that's your, what's the word I'm looking for here? Your literary device. That's how they're presenting it, is through this guy reading them out to you. I think he pops up right here. That guy. He's the narrator. But he doesn't really narrate. He just like opens up and reads a story, and that's it. So for this movie, because there's 4 separate stories, I'm going to describe each individual story, give ratings on each individual portion of the story, right? Or of the story. So for the first story, which is Possession, I will talk about the story, the acting, the look, etc. Individually, and I will do that for each one of the movies for all 4, or each one of the stories for all 4 stories. Okay, so the first story is called Possession. This opens up with this girl showering, and then that's her right there. She notices like these black marks on her shoulders, and then she starts spitting up blood. Then this guy, who is clearly a priest of some sort, comes in and inspects her marks, asks her if she's been bleeding. She lies and says she has not. Then they pray, and he straps her into her bed, saying that he will cleanse her of this demon. She manages to get out of the bed while he's sleeping, and he finds her standing, doing creepy things. This is a quick story and is very to the point. Demon possession story. 3 out of 5. Not bad. For the acting, for the possession, not bad, not standout, but not bad. 3 out of 5, a little above average. Music is really good. It's really well sets the ambiance for the story, because kind of what this story is like a degradation of sanity. They go through surprisingly quickly, but it still draws you in. But the music definitely helps with that. So 4 out of 5 for music. Atmosphere, it's just the 2 actors. It's the gal who plays Lorelai and Ilya. Yeah, Ilya is the guy. It's just the 2 of them, and they're closeted, alone, just the 2 of them, isolated from everything. And Lorelai clearly wants to get out, and Ilya, is the priest, is not allowing it. So that's you can really feel the isolation. So the atmosphere is great. 4 out of 5. Look, there are no special effects, and fake blood is fake. So 2 out of 5 for look. For creep, the atmosphere and setup was really well done, as I said previously, and because of that, you do feel like you get the skin crawling, heebie-jeebies going on. So you're uncomfortable. So I give it a 4 out of 5 for creep, because it definitely creeped me out. So we total up the scores for possession, and we get a 3.3333333333333333333 repeating out of 5 skulls for story number 1, the possession. Story number 2. Story number 2 is Relic. It opens. See if I wait long enough, the Relic guys should show up. It opens with a girl and a guy who are talking about their friend who wants to take them to see this lady with a creepy collection, and go hear like stories associated with said creepy collection. So they go into this antique store that has a closed sign, but clearly is open, and they go inside, and then they kind of like look at all the relics that are like sitting out, and the scene kind of reminded me of Cabin in the Woods in the basement, where it's like kind of choose your own adventure for what horrible thing is going to happen to you. That's them. To kind of choose your own adventure for whatever horrible thing is going to happen to you. That's the other guy, and that was the lady that told them those stories. Yeah, so creepy lady shows up in a black outfit, looks kind of like, you know, what you would expect somebody who's in mourning to wear, like at a funeral or something like that. And then she starts telling them stories about the different relics that they found, and while she's telling them about these different relics that they find, the girl picks up an old book, which does not look old, and the lady's like, hey, put that down, that's not something for you guys to look at, that's not a you guys thing. And the girl is insistent, and so the lady reads a story out of it, and while she's reading the story out of it, she has them read some words out loud out of it personally. And then they all go home, and then horrible things happen to them. So not bad, not a bad setup, not a bad introduction. 3 out of 5 for Relic. Acting is not bad, but it's not standout. It's about the same as the possession. So again, 3 out of 5 for acting. The music is well used, and it sets the mood really well, but it's nothing special. It just, yeah. So 3 out of 5 for music. Atmosphere. Oh, I wrote it in the wrong spot. So, off-screen events build up to a climax on screen. So it's not. It's good. It's good. So atmosphere, 3 out of 5, because it's got a lot of off-screen action, but then it all comes together, and so you get like the off-screen creepiness happening that you kind of like allow your imagination to foment, and then you get to see this climax. So 3 out of 5 for atmosphere. Look, the creepy objects are creepy, but the old book is not old. It is very clearly like a modern thing. So 2 out of 5 for look. And then finally creep. Again, it's not terribly creepy, but it's not bad, because of that build up off screen helps to make you uncomfortable. So I give it a 3 out of 5 for creep. Total up those scores, and you get a 2.8 out of 5 skulls for Relic. Awkward transition. Hi everybody. Bea decided that she wanted to be on camera, so I'm once again joined by my adorable little co-host. Hi, sweetie. Oh, big hugs. Who's your sweet girl? What are you looking at over there? Okay, so that was Relic. 2.8 out of 5 for Relic. Right, Bea? You agree? Bea watched it with me, so she knows. Yeah, I know. I'm a horrible person. I watch scary movies with my 5-month-old daughter. Judge. Shame. What, Bea? Okay, moving on. So we move on to number 3, which surprisingly is the one that I seem to be seeing the most of in the trailer here. Number 3 is called What Hides Within. And so this one opens up with a couple that are asleep, and they hear a noise, and then the female wakes up, and she's like, "Oh, they got in." And you're like, "Oh, well, what got in?" Turns out, zombies. It's a zombie story. Nothing too special on that front, but really this one more delves into like the people and like what's going on like internally with the people trying to survive this zombie apocalypse. That's really about it. Turns out that a zombie did in fact get into the house, and they're trying to deal with it. So again, it's a zombie story, not terribly original, but not bad. 3 out of 5 for story. But you trying to read? You trying to read it? You want to tell them about it? Acting. So the acting on this one is not as good as the first 2 stories. It starts out feeling really stinted, and really kind of almost like they're reading the lines right before they're saying them. But then it gets better as it goes along. So 2.5 out of 5 for acting. Music, well used, but not. Real well used. It's really sets the mood. The music is really the highlight of the 3rd story. In general, like the music really sets it for you. So for the music, I gave it a 4 out of 5. Atmosphere, again, this is another like isolation atmosphere. Like I said, it's really more about the people than the fact that it's a zombie apocalypse. There's not really too much special effects in the 3rd one. There's fake blood and there's makeup that they use that's realistic enough. So what they do with what they're trying to do, they do well. So 3 out of 5 for look. And then finally, creep. This one is not creepy at all. I don't find zombie movies to be creepy personally anyway. But this movie's not really creepy at all. However, it is unsettling because again, it's about these people trying to survive and kind of what's going on in their brains while they're trying to survive the zombie apocalypse. So 2 out of 5 for creep. We tally up those scores and we get a 2.9 out of 5 skulls for What Lies Within. Finally, the last story that we're going to talk about is The Conductor. This story doesn't have anything to do with trains. So it starts with a woman closing a door, complaining about how miserably cold it is outside. She strikes up a conversation with the bartender, and she's very observant of things that you wouldn't think that she would know. They kind of set that up. And then she says she's waiting for somebody, and then this blonde, kind of good-looking guy walks in, and she tries to like hit on him. Really weirdly, she uses she goes into this like monologue about the swear word metric system as like her pickup line for this guy, and then it doesn't work, and he hits her in the face with a beer bottle, and then it kind of progresses from there into the actual spooky parts. This story is actually super predictable. If you watch it, that's the guy hitting her in the face with a beer bottle. If you watch it, you're going to know exactly what's happening before it happens. So 2.5 due to complete and utter unoriginality. Acting in this one is the worst of all of the acting in all of the stories in this anthology. So 2 out of 5 for acting. Music is nothing special. Honestly, I feel like the fourth story is kind of phoned in. So 2.5, nothing special, but at least it's not off-putting. Look is what do I say about this for look? Fake blood and gore. Meh. 2.5 for look. Creep. Not creepy. It has a bit of an existentialism to the story, so that's kind of cool, I guess, but not creepy. 1 out of 5 for Creep. If you couldn't tell, I did not really like 4. It wasn't horrible, but of all of the stories, it's definitely the weakest. Kind of ended on a low note. They should have done it as like the second story, so that they could end up on a higher note, but it is what it is. So you tally up the scores, and you get a 2.1 out of 5 skulls for the conductor. So then we tally up all of those scores, and I give this movie, Dark Chronicles, on Screambox, a 2.7. 2.7, right, Dad? 2.7 out of 5 skulls for, again, Dark Chronicles on Screambox. Okay, thanks, bye. Say bye, man. Yeah, say bye.